Good morning and welcome. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host. This is a live podcast. We're here to fight CPS and hang on to our children. I'm glad that you found me. You must have looked at Facebook, Fight CPS, and I'm glad you tuned in to me. This is broadcasting over YouTube, and I'm using a StreamYard application. And I'm broadcasting from Southern California. I welcome all of you from all the 50 states and the territories and all the countries of the world. We've had a nice falling these last 10 months, and I continue to do this show twice a day, 7 days a week. I'm on at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time for an hour, and then again at nighttime at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for an hour. On Sundays, I come on early at 8 a.m. That's the only difference. If there's other times, I will tell you that. But anyway, we're here to talk about CPS and how to solve your questions. I'm not an attorney, but I have many years' experience. I have over 15 years' experience with CPS. I, too, was once like you, locked into CPS and fighting to save my children that were trafficking into foster care, that were alienated from us as parents. Yes, alienate and trafficking. They do that somehow illegally, and it's illegal. It's illegal. My children were taken that weren't in extreme or intimate danger. They were not in intimate danger. They were in their schools when they were taken by CPS. And it's so sad that CPS is so corrupt. The things I know today, 15 years later, than when I first started getting involved with them, I wish I had known. There's many mistakes I made, and I've made 4 rules regarding this. But that's as they say yesterday. We can't live in the past. We have to march ahead to the future, but we can learn from our mistakes in the past. Every day is a new beginning, a new chance to do something different, to make ourselves better, to get our families back together, to get our lives in order. I, too, have a lot of demons in me, and I fight them daily. It is a struggle. It is a hard thing for you to do. Now, there's several ways you can interact with this live podcast. One way, as you can see, my phone number is up. It's one way you can call in at 626-698-0990. That's my office number. And I'll answer it between hours of my show, which I've already told you. Otherwise, if you leave messages or whatever, all I can tell you is that you need to call me back when I'm live. I'm not able to really talk outside of the show hours. So please call in 626-698-0990. And when you call in, I need to know, please state your name, the city, the state, or country you're from. And I do mean countries because I do have a lot of people that call from different countries. Now, a second way to interact with this podcast is to share your comments about your CPS questions. To share your comments about your CPS questions. All you do is text in your question related to CPS. Also, I still need to know your name, show your name, show the city, the state, or country, and be complete with your CPS case. It takes a lot of time to play cat and mouse, or I call ping pong, where I ask you a question, you answer a little bit, and I go back and forth, back and forth. It's best that you just go ahead and um, tell your story from the beginning. Tell your story from the beginning. One moment. So like start at the beginning and tell me how your family's made up. Are you a mother and father and three kids, two boys, one girl? Are you a single mom with 9 children? Now, I may be exaggerating things like that. Are you boyfriend, girlfriend with 5 children? Or are you just were once lovers and you're not together with the lover and you have a couple children? That helps me decide, helps me understand your case better if you tell me your family makeup. You could say that the father no longer shows interest, he's not paying child support, or where the case may be. You're a single mom fighting, things like that. And then after that, what were the allegations that they investigated you? Were they from a layperson? Were they from a professional? Were they trumped up, made up stories? There's two areas that CPS will investigate. That's areas of neglect and areas of abuse. Areas of neglect and areas of abuse. And that's further defined as neglect. Do you not feed the child? Do you not change the diapers? Did you not put clothes on them? Do you not send them to school? Then there's abuse. Are there physical marks from excessive punishment? Did you beat the child? Do you slam the child against the walls? Anyway, tell me the allegations. So that's the second part. You've told your family makeup, and now you have the allegations why you're involved. Then I need to know where you're at on your case. Oh, before that, it's important you tell me how the child was taken in. I almost assume 99% of the time all children are taken. Did you give them up at the home? Did you drive the children to the social center? Did you give them to the police? If for all reason, practical purposes, you never allow anybody in your home. You never talk to strangers. So I find out, I was bad too. Why do we talk to CPS? They're strangers. You don't have to. There's no law that says you have to. And if they keep pressing you, just give them yes, no answers. And furthermore, you can tell them, I need to talk to my attorney first before we go any further. That is a timeout. That gets them off your back and ends the discussion. So you don't have to talk to CPS workers. But anyway, I want to know how they got your children. Did you take them right away? Anyway. Then I want to know where you're at on your case. Are you at the beginning, the middle, the end? Been going a long time or whatever. So that's how it's complete with your CPS case. Now, the reason why I mention countries is I'm getting a lot of people from other countries texting in. They watch the show. They find us on Facebook. Facebook is a worldwide social network. So anybody. My most recent country was Bangladesh, near India. Bangladesh is a country. They called in. The guy was from Bangladesh. Yes. I've had Bangladesh and New Delhi, India. Then I've had Africa, and I've had several people from Rwanda, and Archie from Liberia on the north coast of Africa on the west side. He's called in. I mean, he's texted several times. Mozambique is another one in Africa. They're east of Rwanda. Rwanda is Central East Africa. Mozambique is on the east coast, opposite Madagascar, above South Africa, and below Somalia. Oh, jeez. I'm sorry for the people in Somalia. I didn't mean to call you Salami. Anyway, I've also talked to people from Europe, United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales. I've also talked to Denmark and Sweden. And I've had one country in South America, which is Ghana. And they are on the coast side, the east side, above Brazil and east of Venezuela. Their main seaport town is Georgetown. Then I've had Mexico and Canada. I've had several people from Canada on the east side, Alberta. And I've heard from the land down yonder, Australia. So that's quite a lot of countries. And again, they found me on Facebook. And they all have problems with CPS. CPS, the child protection system, is a worldwide problem. The child protection system is a worldwide problem. They're not transparent. They traffic children into foster care. They steal children. Children are hurt in foster care. They're very manipulated. They're not honest. They do revenge. I don't have anything nice to say about CPS workers because they're not protecting our children from neglect or abuse. They're chasing innocent, helpless parents who has very little income. Not for the money for them, but for getting the money from the U.S. government, who in turn gives it to the state gives it to the county. For every child, in my case, in Orange County, each of my 3 children that were stolen, they were getting $20,000 a month. 3 children, that's $60,000. If you had 100 families with 3 children each, and they got that kind of money, you'd be up to $6 million in a month. It's an $80 billion business that they do. $80 billion business. Now, a third way of interacting with this podcast is you can be a guest. You can be our guest on the show. Now, to schedule as our guest, you're going to email our show producer. Her name is Grace. She works behind the scenes. She keeps her in line and so forth. All you do is email her at grace@vincentwdavis.com. Grace@vincentwdavis.com. Oh boy, I'm in the same problem I had a week ago. Not getting my money in time, and I'm not eating, and I'm getting really sick, Wow. going on 8 days again. Wow. So the third way to interact with a podcast is to email grace@vincentwdavis.com. That's grace@vincentwdavis.com. All you do is you tell her that I want to be on Bob's Monday morning show, or I want to be on Bob's Wednesday evening show. There are 14 shows. All you do is give morning or evening, Monday through Sunday. And she will give you the link to be on my podcast and explain to what to do as a guest, to know the do's and don'ts. Like there's no smoking, no eating on the show. Lighting sometimes is an issue, but she'll help you. She helps me, keeps me in line, and I really thank her for her help in taking care of this podcast. I'm going to put it back with my phone number so it's easy for you to look up and call. Also, I'm going to see what's keeping some of my regulars. The notification isn't all. I have someone 951 area code that just said, hey. So okay, I've reached out to Natalie, who is from West Hollywood, California. I've told her that I'm live. And then I've told my co-host, Danielle, who has had computer issues, so she hasn't been on for a month. Or has it been 2 months? I don't know. I keep wondering if she's ever going to come back. And then we have Faye, who's inherited 6 baby cats that she's trying to take care of. Good morning. Who is this?
Who's it?
Well, this is you've reached the podcast of Fight CPS with Bob Pace.
Oh, hey, Bob. Hey, Bob. No, I need to join your live. Yeah, send me the link, please.
Oh, the link.
It's Christmas.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I haven't put your name in my database, so your name didn't pop up. Okay.
Man, I got a story, man. Oh my goodness, today, everything hit me, man.
Okay.
My mom and,
well,
came out, man. I got to get across the U.S. telling my story.
Yeah, the link to watch my podcast, you go to Facebook.
Okay.
And then type in Fight CPS.
Yes.
And it's Bob Pace, and today's show I'm live. And you just click it.
Yeah, my mom burned me and left me on the wilderness today, so she
God.
tried to take my ride.
I'm sorry that for all you people here, and I have Chris on the line. He's had a troubled life. He's trying to get his daughter on a custody issue. He isn't involved quite yet in CPS, but he's been wondering about whether he should talk to him or not.
I think my mom just tied the knot today. She did it for me. I told her not to. She left me out in the middle of foolishness.
Oh, boy.
Now I'm on the hills right now, and I missed the court date, so I lost all my rights. Probably.
You lost your visitation, your court date for your custody?
Yeah, because I call in San Bernardino, and every time it says, oh, an agent's not available, and then it hangs up on me. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I call in for like the Zoom call. No, nothing. So it was at 9:30. It's already 10:30. I don't even know what to do. So my mom took her friend Chris up there, the one that raped my baby mama. So that's why my baby mama's scared, because my mom's been a fucking psychopath. She's the fucking devil. She's been pimping me out.
Yeah, can we watch our language on the show, Chris? We
I'm sorry.
That's one of the rules in here.
It all hit me today where I was just like, wow, my mom's the devil.
Well, I'm sorry that your mother, for some of you who don't know, he had a mother that abused him as a small child. And, he doesn't really have a home per se, a life with family and friends. But he says that he's found the Lord. He's trying to get himself better together. And now he has a setback because there was a custody battle that he's supposed to be at the court. Have you tried to call Vincent Davis?
Yeah, I've called, and every time I call and I go through the prompt and it just says, oh, an agent's not available, take your call, and then it hangs up.
No. Vincent Davis doesn't use agents.
Oh, Davis. Yeah, I actually am. Well, I'm out in the wilderness right now. I'm collecting sage so I can sell that.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, Chris, here's what you need to do. You still need to call Mr. Davis and talk to him for 30 minutes. He will help you, tell you the direction what you can do about the missed court date. Because when you miss a court date, you can ask the judge. You can, if you have a. Why did you miss the date? Why did you mess up?
Well, it's all the way in Barstow, and then I got told my daughter's mom finally called me, or she called me. My mom has my mail, and my mom didn't tell me I got that. Good thing my baby mom had integrity, and she called me yesterday afternoon. She was like, "Hey, we got a hearing tomorrow, emergency hearing, because it's Saturday." Because when my daughter told me they were hurting her, I kind of, overreacted. I guess I didn't know. I didn't really trip on her. I just kind of was like, stay away from my daughter. I don't want to. She's not going to go with you. She's going to go with me. And she didn't like that. And she called the cops, and then the cops got involved, and then the lady cop was already under her payroll or whatever's going on. And never got brought up into the system, buried just like anything else because of this congressman. It's crazy because the guy that I'm talking about, his father is like a head CPS kind of guy.
Okay.
And which is kind of scary. And that's who my mom, she disted me out here, and she went up the high desert with this guy. And Carla, a few months ago, told me about her getting, I can see it in her face. I know her, like, I love my life. Like, I know her very well. And she looked like she just got ran through by a fucking bunch of guys. Bunch of guys. And I was like, why do you, what happened? Why do you look like you got raped? And she just like put her head on my shoulder and started crying. And we're at breakfast. My mom was acting weird that day. She bought like 50 pancakes and all this other stuff and acted really strange. And then when she went to the bathroom, I said, who did that to you? Tell me. Where's he at? Is he in here? And the diner we were at, she pointed to my mom. And I said, what? So that it's just a big, now I get it. Now it all makes sense. My mom's trying to frame me for whatever criminal activity she's been doing. I was the only when I got out of prison in 2021, for not updating my address, supposedly when I was going to buy a house in Orange County. San Bernardino County locked me up for 2.5. I had to do 6 months. They sent me to CMC, and then I had to do 3 extra months. So I got out 9 months later, and everything was gone. My savings, everything I worked my butt off for my whole life. And long story short, that's when Carla did the custody papers when I was in jail. She said she left my mom's house because she saw some evil stuff there. And my mom, or my ex, never talked bad about my mother. She's a traditional Latina. She wouldn't talk bad about my mom. And she's been through childhood trauma herself from her father. And now I'm just realizing, like, man, we have that in common. And the whole time my mom's trying to turn me against my daughter's mom. And I'm like, nah, I know what kind of mom she is. I lived with her 4 years. She's not a POS. And that's what I told her right now. I was like, hey, just protect my daughter. Just take care of her. I'm going to get my story out there. I don't care if I got to go to Washington, D.C. my damn self. I'm going to get my story out there. I'm tired of being quiet. I ain't going to be quiet. They're going to have to kill me. I don't care about that. I'm going to get out there some way. I'm not giving up. I'm fighting for the women and the children of this country. And I know I'm a Prince of Italy, and I'm going to make it happen. And that's real talk.
Okay. Well, to get on my show, you just go to Facebook Type in Fight CPS and then find me Bob Pace Live.
Okay, I'll do that
The
right now.
name of the show is Fight CPS with Bob Pace. Okay?
Yes, sir. I'll do that right now.
Okay,
Thank you, you're
Chris.
Godspeed, I'm telling you, man.
I'm just a phone call away. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That was Chris I met a couple days ago. Young man in his 30s. Gone through a horrible life. He has a daughter. His daughter's 4 years old, but she's being molested by his mom and her mom's boyfriends or whatever the case would be. It's terrible. CPS is really messed up. There's no question about that. Okay, I've also reached out to Faye in Richmond, Kentucky. So I've gotten now the people that have been regulars here notified. I'm also looking for Christina from San Bernardino, California, who had an incident in Vegas, or I think it was in San Bernardino. A lot of stories have been really tough for parents. And if you don't really know what CPS is all about, let me paint you some pictures of them. There's about 5 different, scenarios of what CPS really is. One scenario are the Pink Ladies of Prescott, Arizona. There are 8 social workers that had over a total of 25 years of social working experience. And they decided one day to buy pink t-shirts, and on front of the t-shirt stenciled was professional kidnappers. Well, boy, that tells you a lot from social workers. And on the back, they said, do you know where your kids are at? Or not kids, you know where your children are at. And that message was paraded around at Costco, Walmart, Target, etc. until they were fired the next day. They were fired. And so was the director of CPS in Prescott, Arizona. Go look it up, 2022. But that tells you the kind of thinking social workers are. They want to kidnap your son or daughter. Why? Because they get $80 billion a year. It's a money-making business. So you got to really be careful out in this world here, because you got an agency that's gone rogue. And I've talked to over 500 people now in the U.S. that agree with me. They've all shared their case. So I'm telling you, you got to really think and be careful out there. They are tricksters. They are liars. They're not there to do family unification or get your kids back. Now, if the Pink Ladies isn't, spooky enough as it is, there's another social worker a month and a half ago on her Facebook page put an ad. The problem with the ad is from 1848, 140 some years ago, 10 years before the Civil War. 10 years before the Civil War. And on the ad, it said, black children for sale. Black children for sale. Now, I say the word black because the ad really had the N word on there, and I don't think it's appropriate to say it on YouTube or Facebook. So use the word black children. But why would a woman who's also black herself in the year 2024, today, put out an ad, black children for sale. The Civil War is over. Why is she putting that on? What is her alternative motive? But there you go. Another social worker. That's who you're dealing with. And then there's another one. If that doesn't make you stop to think, there was a social worker, a male social worker investigator, that came out to the school. It asked the school if he could see one of the students of the school privately, not with a nurse, not with another adult there, privately. So he leads this 13-year-old girl to a private room. And he shuts the door, and within the room, he asks the girl to disrobe, take off your shirt. He wanted to take pictures. He's a pedophile. He's a pedophile. Now, the mom heard this from the daughter, and she quickly called CPS. And they went ahead and fired this gentleman because that was wrong. The school was wrong to allow it in the first place. So I'm telling you, you don't know who's out there with a social worker. Now, the mom did call in and fired the social worker. Social worker was relieved. But one of his buddies that grew up with him in school did a retaliation mode where he accused the mother of molesting her son. And her son was accused of molesting the daughter. There's a 15-year-old son and a 13-year-old daughter. Now, all this is wrong, but they were doing retaliation, this CPS outfit. It's pretty sick now, these social workers. Really are. They really are sick. Now, in my own case, my social worker was on the trial by my attorney that I had hired a year later to my case. It was Vincent W. Davis. And when he cross-examined her, she lied. There was a question that came up because my wife's sister was trying to adopt our daughter. And so when they cross-examined the social worker and the question was asked, has there been any domestic violence with you and your husband? And her sister said, no, nothing wrong there. Well, then Vince whipped out all these police reports of domestic violence, made her look really bad, really, really bad. So she told me and my wife that I'm going to retaliate. You're never going to see your daughter again. You know what she did? She convinced my 12-year-old daughter to divorce her parents, her brothers, her grandparents, her aunts and uncles, and her cousins, to change her name, to seal her birth certificate, and to be adopted into foster care family. She did all that at age 12. Now, you know, children don't know all those things, but that was done by the social worker revenge. That's the same social worker that knows nothing about how to deal with cases. So I'm telling you, they're corrupt. They're very, 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 very corrupt. So you have to be careful when you deal with them. You don't want to talk to them, and if you end up or have to, it's yes, no answers. But they'll use what you say against you. Furthermore, if they keep pressuring you, just say, I'm sorry, I need to talk to my attorney before I go any further. That is your constitutional right to talk to your attorney. Your attorney can be present at all proceedings. Thou shut them up for a bait. You may not have an attorney, but they don't know that. And then if you don't, you need to get one. And that leads me into my first rule. You should have an attorney. But you need a special kind of attorney. You need somebody that has years and years of experience of fighting CPS and getting their children back. So I'm telling you, please call in at 888-888-6582. Ask for Mr. Davis. You do a consultation for 30 minutes for $60. He has 35 years as a family juvenile dependency attorney. Lots of experience in fighting CPS. He's done civil suits, both federal and state courts, and won millions of dollars. He knows how to fight CPS. He knows how to get kids back from CPS. So when you call in, make sure you tell him that Bob Pace sent you. And then when you talk to Mr. Davis, say that Bob Pace sent you. And talk to him for 30 minutes for $60. And if you like him, you can retain him. He works in all the 50 states. He works in Northern California. And it'd be a blessing. I waited too late. I lost my daughter. I think if he was on board at the beginning, we never would have lost my daughter. But he's a trial attorney, and you can't go wrong. But like the gentleman Chris that is called, he needs to talk to Vincent Davis. I told him to. So I'm telling you this. When you talk to him, he's pleasant, gentle, and he has lots of words of wisdom. He has a podcast, so you listen to him. But if you don't, it's going to be very hard. You can fight with a court-appointed attorney, but those court-appointed attorneys will not necessarily fight for you. They have a caseload of 30 or more, and they will not fight for your case. They will not fight for your case. So be very, very careful of the court-appointed attorneys. So that takes care of my rule number one. It's a very important rule to learn, to know. I learned the hard way. I waited too long. I should have got it right away. Just whatever you do, be careful. If you want to fight pro se, you have to be careful. That means you're going to fight yourself. Now, the difference between a court-appointed attorney and fighting yourself or a professional attorney is that when you do pro se, you're in the courtroom, you can talk to the judge, you can talk and ask questions. When you have a court-appointed attorney, he can only talk for you. When you have hired an attorney, they can only talk for you. Now, I like to slip into rule number 2. That is to organize all your paperwork. You get lots of paperwork through your case, and I didn't organize mine. My paperwork stacks about 2 feet high, so it's a lot. You should start off with the biggest notebook you can get. What I mean by that, by thickness. I think 6 inches is the biggest they have, 8.5 by 11. And you want to get a 3-ringer because you will have to punch holes in your court papers and your certificates and so forth. So when you organize this notebook, stuff it full of college rule notebook paper. Buy some dividers and make some subject tabs. Some of the tabs could be your incidents, your info, your program classes, your parenting classes, those kinds of things. Hello, Christina Rensno. I was looking for you earlier. Welcome to the podcast. We're talking about my rules right now at the moment. We're on rule number 2, the notebook. So you know all your parenting classes, you can punch holes in the certification, then make a log, and that one subject could be parenting classes with a list of all you've taken. Same thing with programs like anger management, like domestic violence. Those are programs. Any certificates, punch holes and put them in there behind your log. So you list all the parenting classes, all the program classes, and then put your log of completion. So I'm telling you, that notebook will save your life because you're not going to remember everything 6 months or 2 years from now. You want to use a highlighter and highlight things, like a pink one or yellow ones are good. Now, I mentioned incidents. That's real key there because you can have all kinds of incidents with your children, with the police, the CPS, with your family and friends. You will list each incident separate. So when you put the incident down, you put the date, the time, the location, and who was involved. Then you describe the incident on the first line, and then you put the next line, the outcome. If you don't know the outcome, skip it. Come back and fill out later when you do know the outcome. Then you want to skip a couple lines for the next incident, skip a couple lines, make the incident. You could have, there's many kinds of different incidents. There's the one from the agency, there's the police. You could have many incidents. So this notebook, you continue on with your information, your programs, and your parenting classes, and anything else you want to put in that notebook. You may have notebooks 1, 2, and 3, depending on how thick your paperwork is. Now, Christina further says, just put the water incidents in order by dates. Everything is in order. Good, great, in order. Yeah, you organized the water incidents. She's put together a book for me. It's what she's doing. And then she also put the incidents in order by dates and by plastic sleeves. Oh, that's really good, Christina. Oh, that comment was deleted. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help you, Christina. A lot of people don't see what you say in the room, so that's why I repeat it. Yeah, very funny. New water. I was going to say, you had some water incidents from CPS. That's interesting. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Now move to rule number 3. Rule number 3 is again where you say no to social workers, no to police. It's just no answers. You don't have to talk to them. You don't need to share anything with them. Most people don't because it's a waste of energy. So when you say no to social workers or yes, it's a simple answer. If they're outside, don't invite them in. Don't let them in your home. There's only certain ways that people can come in your home. One way is you invite them in your home. You give them permission. Another is they have a court order that says they can go into your home. Now they're going to try to get in your home. They're going to bring the police and try to intimidate you. Yeah, you got to be careful of that. Police can be very good intimidators. Now they have that court order. That court order's got to be very specific. It's got to have your name that's addressed to, the children's name, and if you're married, your wife's name. Then it's got to have the incidents listed, what they're accusing you of. And then what the order is like to visit the home, to take the child, whatever the court order, it has to have that. It's all got to be signed by a judge, and the embossed got to show up. There's a stamp that's being embossed. So be very careful here. If they have that court order, it's got to be signed and it's got to be stamped. There's got to be an embossed stamp that's raised on the paper where the signature of the judge is. It's got to be specific and the date and time they plan to be there. Now, another aspect is medical trafficking. And you got to be careful there because when you take your child into emergency or you go to have a baby, they're going to try to take your child. Be heads up. Be careful. They're not allowed to take anything unless they have a court order, even if they have a police. Now, I know in Richmond, Kentucky, things are different because Faye will tell you that. So I'm telling you, be careful. If you're going to have a child, make sure you work out ahead of time that no social workers may enter the room. They're going to take your newborn baby. So I'm telling you, be heads up. No to social workers. Do not let them take your child and don't let them in your home. Now, rule number 4 is the easy one. That's the one where you do research. You want to spend 40 minutes researching, not 40 minutes, I meant 40 hours. A lot of time. You want to spend a week researching about your case in that city, not about your specific case, about CPS in that city or county. All to know, because that way there may be something there you could use to help you. Because they are crooked. There's no accountability for these social workers. Now, in Kentucky, they have license, but in California, they don't. Most states, they don't. So as you research, your gaining knowledge is your weapon. It's your weapon to win your case. The internet is full of information about your case, and you can be very specific at how you choose your words. So what's new, Christina? What's new in your world? Yeah, you can email it to me. You can email it to me, Christina. Okay. My email, let me see here. Hold on a second. I gotta find my email, and I had it here recently, so hold on a second. I'm trying to get that for you, Christina. Stand by.
These guys are nuts.
Well, late last night, Donald Trump officially accepted the RNC nomination.
Okay, I got it. Bob. B-O-B. Pace. At Vincent W. Davis. Okay, I'd repeat it in each room, but there's my email. It's Bob P at VincentWDavis.com. Bob P. Okay? So you get it, Christina? Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. I'll have to look at my email later after the show. Okay, I've covered my 4 rules. I want to remind you some important things. There's something called ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act, and that was instituted in 1978. And what it is basically is that for a long time, the Native American Indians, the first immigrants to the United States, have been abused. And one of the things are their children were always put into CPS foster care. No chance for family reunification. What CPS must do if someone says they are Indian or have Indian children, CPS must investigate and see if they're registered with the tribe or could be registered. And the tribes, there's 547 federal recognized tribes, like Cherokee, Lakota Sioux, etc. And if you're registered, all you have to do, now you should contact the tribe yourself. Don't trust CPS to do it. But what they'll do is that instead of them putting them in foster care, they'll put the kids in the tribe's hands, and then the tribe will put them with one of the Indian families and help with reunification. It's a lot better for your children. So this ICWA is really important. It was passed in 1978. Well, hello there, Lori Hiller. You got another name in there called Tracy Smith. Well, Lori, I never know where you're from, but you come to my room all the time, which is nice. You put different names in there. I don't know if you're making a memorial or what, but I am glad to have you in the room. Now, my time is up and I must depart, but I want to thank you all for listening, and thank you, Lori Hill and Christina and Chris that was on the phone earlier, and to keep fighting for your kids. And I'll see you the next time. It's tonight at 7 p.m. God bless you, and it's Bob Pace signing off.